Hi all, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about my SaaS-based product. It is called as API GraphQL product, and it's basically a zero trust cyber ready AI powered federation. So you get the federated data because we do support Apollo, federation. You have the federated authentication and telemetry with runtime PII masking and policy aware AI prompts. So basically, can trust it can actually turn your REST APIs or into GraphQL without actually overfetching or underfetching, we don't need any backend access as well. So like I mentioned, this is what exactly my tool looks like. Like I mentioned, API this SaaS-based product actually works as a GraphQL gateway and as a Apollo Federation. So what it can do in a pure GraphQL gateway fashion is it would take your existing YAML files, and then actually you could pick and choose like what attributes you want from those YAML files, and then it actually creates a GraphQL response. So with APIs, you generally have the scope. So you have within the scope, imagine like you're able to select some attributes, and then enforce masking and everything in runtime. So that is what exactly this tool does as a GraphQL gateway. This also supports federated graph with subgraphs. So if you have any subgraphs, we'll be able to take care of them as well. We do have authentication, which is federated. So we accept your identity provider, and then we accept SAML 2.0 or OIDC. And we actually need the users and their roles always. So let's say your IDP is only giving me an access token and not the user or roles, then we have different options of actually getting those information. While if you have a skim sync, we could do that, or we could do flat files, or we could even call back some separate APIs and get it at runtime. So why do we need the roles for the users? Because at runtime, every query actually passes a policy. This is the one actually. Every query actually passes a policy enforcement point that actually consults a policy decision point to return, allow, deny, plus obligations like field level PII masking or partial redaction. It is also AI aware, so you can literally get some sort of suggestions from AI. Like you could build smart schemas and smart joins, and also you could have some prompts in this as well. So you give a prompt and then you'll get a response back. So this is and like for example, some people might have their own models, training models for or fine-tuned models for their AI. So if you already have a fine-tuned model, then we can send the request to those fine-tuned models. So bottom line, this is basically a bring your own IDP, bring your own policies, your own models, and we'll enforce them in the graph at runtime. So this is what exactly is this whole idea of this SaaS-based product actually. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the architecture. So I'll go down to the pillars over here. So basically what we have is we have a control plane, we have a data plane, and then, like I said, we already have the federation, we have the PDP and PEP enforcements and AISs. And under the hood, everything is Dockerized. So we have everything Dockerized, and the deployment options are, you could do a SaaS based, like meaning CP and DP. When I meant CP, control plane and data plane hosted by us, fast start and zero ops for you. A hybrid where the control plane is actually hosted by us and your data plane runs in your own VPC region for data residency or whatever reason you want. And self-managed is you can definitely run your own CP, DP, Jagger and database, full control and isolation actually. And when I wanted to touch a little bit about the PDP and DSAR. Just wanted to talk about DSAR because I didn't see any tool that actually supports DSAR and PDP um, in the same tool. Generally, they are two different aspects actually. So DSAR is actually these are the legal rights to access or erase personal information, and most teams that I've seen handle them via tickets, spreadsheets, and custom scripts, slow and risky. And I remember like we did have one sprint dedicated for deleting some of these in my earlier companies. But in the API GraphQL, it's built in and policy aware. Like we mentioned, every request crosses a policy enforcement point that asks the PDP who the user is, what they're doing, and the context. Then it would return allow, deny plus obligations like masking or partial redaction. A DSCR is just a fine class flow in the same graph. We export. You could export or erase the data using policies you already enforce. So this actually supports DSAR, and this is definitely useful for people who generally store PII information actually. So and then we have the field level masking as well. So I'll go ahead and show you everything in the demo. So right now, so it's demo time where we'll show you each and everything that we taught. So let's do it real quick. So this is a SaaS-based product. So we need the tenant, and then the workspace tenant is for individual customer, and workspaces. Imagine like for dev, prod, and your own teams having separate, workspaces actually. So now, like I mentioned, this demo will be focused on the gateway fashion. Sorry, the GraphQL gateway. So what we are doing right now is we are actually selecting two different YAML files and then uploading it over here. So you can see that I uploaded the price and then order YAML files, and then register and parse. What it does is it actually pulls out all the methods and their attributes in this parse and in register and parse. So you can actually select individual attributes that you wanted for the GraphQL query. So like API generally have like scope based. So if I have a scope, then if I'm having a scope with my access token, then I'll have access to each and every attribute. Imagine with GraphQL, with the scope, you can actually select, you can be a little bit more granular and select like what exactly are the attributes that you want to select. And then, like I mentioned, like this is AI aware. So I think this is a good time to kind of like show you how AI is working over here. So what you can do is, now that you loaded these two, so we can say that, hey AI, can you suggest some joins actually? So modeling help. And then you can also say, I wanted to see some smart queries. So this is the smart schema hints, and then so it's asking us to say order ID, and the ID is what it's asking, and it's giving the reason why it's saying, and then it's also telling you the confidence, which is 95, which is pretty good actually. So you can actually apply this joins, and then say, okay, fine, I want a GraphQL, with the joins that you recommended. So now let's go down, and I'll quickly show you that the tenant has been created, the workspace has been created. You uploaded two files, price and order, and these are all the attributes over there. These are the join suggestions. This is the LLM help that you got to say, okay, fine, this is the schema that you need, and then the joins are applied, and if you see, this is the GraphQL response actually. So it gave you a GraphQL response only with whatever the AI recommended, which is the order ID and then the ID. And now let's go back real quick. So if you notice that once you tell the tool that, hey, you know what, let's go with the AI, joins, then it would automatically select those attributes. So now that we've talked about a little bit about the AI, now what you can do is, along with the AI, you can also select whatever attributes you want. So nothing is stopping you from not selecting it. So Let's go ahead and select a bunch of attributes at each place. So, so the idea is you are only getting a GraphQL responses for these attributes, and like the other unchecked attributes are totally ignored. So let's go ahead and do an generate from selected. So if you go down the graph, if you see, so we selected all these attributes in order, like ID, created date. Let's risk status region in risk status region. So you see everything here, risk status region. So just to prove that it actually obliged with what we actually selected for the GraphQL response, and then this is looking good actually. So this is the GraphQL response for the attributes that you selected. And then let's do another AI real quick, like the prompting. So I'll say show show all orders. Let's do this. So it's showing me all the orders. So now I can say show orders. I can give different attributes like show orders with region and currency, or I can say show orders for department equals sales, or show orders with status is with status. So any of those prompts will actually work. So this is how you use the prompts actually. So let's do one order. Let's show orders with I'll say a region and department. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually trying, so fingers crossed. Okay, so you see, so it just gave me, what I asked, and the best thing is it would also, it would give you a JSON, as well as like it's giving you the results preview in a a tabular form, which is kind of good for non-technical person who wanted to take a look at it. So now let's go back to the main important thing of the PDP and then DSAR. So like I mentioned, this is not available in most of the tools. So PDP is what ideally you'll be getting this from your IDP. One advantage of this tool is like, let's say you want to see like, hey, you know what, if I want to allow, if I want to have, let's say an analyst job for a user, how would this impact the GraphQL or something like that? So ideally you'd go back to the backend, look at the rules and everything, but what you can do is you can actually, do a query. So this is what exactly I have to do. So I am actually test driving like what I want to do before implementing it in my IDP actually. So you can do that. So I'm saying I want this resource, Control V, and then this is the row. And then you say decide. So now what this is saying is, it is saying that the allow fields are only ID, department, user ID, and total. AI feature is false, meaning like the prompting is totally disabled for analyst. And then you can only see the order ID. So it's giving you exclusively that these are only attributes that, you can see. The rest of them you cannot see. So in our query, we had a lot more, right? We have the quantity, supplier, for orders, right? You have the currency, region, created at. So you wouldn't be able to see some of these attributes if I run this as an analyst. So let's do, so you can see here, AS disabled for an analyst, and then you'll say generate from the selected, and then let's go back here. You can see it's only giving ID and department, like whatever is mentioned in the PDP decision actually. So this is the This is the demo for analyst. Now let's say like let's do an admin actually. So an admin is, let's do an admin. And then the context would be admin. So if you see everything is JSON, so you have to, it should be JSON or else it would error out actually. So now it would say allow true, everything is allowed over here, and AI is true, so I should be able to see AI. And what else? Allow star. Okay. So now if you see the AI thing is gone, the one which we saw earlier, and then let's run this query, then I should see each and every attributes actually, because I'm running as an admin, so you see everything there. So this is how you know, PDP is actually working. So this is done at runtime. It would at runtime see like, you know, what should be allowed for this user. So let's say the you know, ideally over here the analyst selected a lot more fields than what he is supposed to see, but still in the input, in the request, it took each and every field, but in the response, PDP enforced it in such a way that it's only showing ID and department, like the rules were set for the analyst. Now let's come back to the DSAR. DSAR is like, you can request there's some times where you know, you are requesting like, hey, you know what, I want all my personal information to be deleted, or show me what are all the personal information that you're you know, storing of me. So that is exactly what a DSAR. Ideally, there's a different flow for this. So there'll be a request that comes in, a DSAR request, and then PDP gets that request, and then PDP has some policies in there to say that, hey, you know what, even though the DSAR is actually requesting a delete of all the attributes, I am going to retain some of them for compliance. So it's not going to delete everything. It's going to keep some and then delete whatever it is. And so that part PDP is actually enforcing. So PDP over here is doing two important things. One is like enforcing masking, enforcing PII redaction, those kind of things, and as well as also enforcing like, hey, you know what, you are not allowed to delete everything in a DSAR report. And if you see, you have two options, delete and export. So if a user asks, hey, what PII data, what user data of mine you're storing, we'll do an export. If someone asks for a delete, we're going to delete it. So now let's go ahead and I think I'll show this through a curl command actually. So so let's do one thing. I just, okay. So let's do this real quick. So I have a curl command. So you are basically, he's an analyst, and then you're saying that you know, allow export for this guy. So the way I configured my PDP is not to allow anything for the analyst. So you're getting a 403, and then role not permitted for this action. So this is what it's giving. And then you have one more, like, let's do this. So this is okay. This is for the admin, and it's asking, hey, I want to export this data because someone requested that, hey, show me what data you have of me, and then so this should be a 200, okay, and then admin has full access. So so these are the two things. Now let's go to the little bit more complicated case where I mentioned you know, even though the DSR request, a delete request comes to you, we are not going to delete everything, each and every field, but we're going to keep some of them because of compliance reasons. So I have one curl command. So this is what exactly the delete is. So so this is an analyst. So you'll see a bunch of you know, like he's not able to see most of it, and then in the, so these are all the attributes that are requested to be deleted. And then if you run this, let's see the response. So these are all the attributes. So you're saying delete SSN. So it's not deleting customer email, it's masking it. it's not deleting the account balance. It's a partial, and then it's not deleting the ID and name. So it is actually retaining the ID and name. This is an example of DSAR request and some of the attributes that it's actually willing to keep. Ideally, you'll see more allowed fields. In my example, just to show that we are actually supporting this delete, I just took this specific example. So. And the other thing that I forgot to mention is like, the PII data. Like, for example, there could be a scenario where, an analyst is not, I set a scenario where an analyst is not able to see any email. So if you see, this is, you're not able to see, it's partial, you're able to see. And then if you see the admin, allow all, and then this is basically denying it. So now we saw end-to-end the entire flow. Now I'll come down to the telemetry, the awesome telemetry that this tool supports actually. So this is my Jagger, and then these are all the telemetry that I requested for the data plane and control plane. These are the main important things for me. So in the control plane, I have all these options, and then in data plane, I'm selecting. I have a lot more options in data plane that you could pinpoint. So this is one of them. So let's do for the last 5 minutes in the data plane, and then let's pull out that record. Let's do the control plane as well. So I want to show you all the different things. So this is actually the control plane. So you have all the different spans that over here. So let's and then and data plane is this. So you could go into the span, and then you can look at each and every request actually. So this is a 200. Okay, so this is one of them, one of the requests. And then let's do for the past 15 minutes. I can show you a better trace actually. 15 minutes. So you could do this. You could do like for the past hour. So you'll get a lot more traces. So this is the actual telemetry that we support. So I do have. I'll go ahead and also attach this link as well. So this is the different. This is the documentation for what we spoke and why it exists and what's missing in today's tool. And then I have also the screenshots of everything in case you missed. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your time.